So you have to ask yourself, is it possible that I'm getting a call, and could it be from an extraterrestrial? Let's pick it up and find out, baby. Hello? Skull! What's going on, baby? Yes, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to you as well. Really? Is that what the drones are doing over New Jersey and in other parts of the world? You don't say. They're confiscating our Hot Toys. And really, wow. But listen, so that explains the whole drone situation. It's all the demand for these artisan, Hot Toys and 6-scale figures. Really, they're going to use these drones to bring in ancient action figures from beyond, like the dark side Anakin. Really, like an Asajj on top of Clone Commander Wolffe. Really, a Hoth Luke. What about a Gina Carano Cara Dune Skull? Well, I've got fresh brewed coffee for the holidays right here, baby, including fresh market news, waitlist news. Dive into it with me. Cheers. All right, here we go. Last market show of 2024 right now. All right, and welcome everyone to another episode of The Market Show right here at the 6-Scale Cantina. And just in case you don't know just who I am the Dark Jedi Ares Tarrington, about to serve up all the 6-Scale action figure talk. So go ahead and smash that like button. I so do appreciate your support. And if this is the first time you've watched 6-Scale Cantina, go ahead and subscribe as well. But my, oh my, right here, Clone Commander Wolffe on December 23rd. Are you kidding me? And you do have to ask yourself, is it possible that we're going to get another shocking, awe-inspiring announcement like Clone Commander Wolffe before New Year's Eve? And I say, there can't possibly be another shock, another awe like Clone Commander Wolffe before New Year's Eve. Could there be? Stay tuned. But right now, baby, let's jump right into this first. And look at all of this that is on the screen of some of the figures now that are just about ready to hit the wait list. You got the Scout Trooper and Speeder about to hit the wait list. You have got Captain America, the 2012 version anyway, about to hit the wait list. Finally for some of these figures, right? And they have been marked, considerably marked down. As you can see, 20% off on Sideshow, 30% off on the 2012 version. Of course, there's that awesome new Captain America with the PERS systems. Just such an upgrade. And a lot of these upgraded figures, the figures that are coming out now, And honestly, these figures that I'm showing you here, Scout Trooper, Captain America, they're not old figures. It's just that the innovation jumped ahead. Jumped into warp speed, if you will. So quickly. Making a lot of the figures that were still in stock in many places and on eBay and in people's collections obsolete. Especially when you look at figures like this Joker. Pulling this up on the screen. And obviously the Artisan edition has been on Waitlist with this. Because of the limited nature of the Artisan figures. But now you can see here with the collector edition, it is now a low stock remaining warning. I'm going to blow that up onto the screen so you could see that, baby. And look, like a lot of the other Artisans, I am not convinced that this sculpted hair version is more production than the Artisan edition. I'm not. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this here while we're looking at it on the screen so I can get to the Artisan edition real quick. And you can see with the Artisan edition, it's limited to just 4,000 pieces. And is it possible that the collector edition is even more than 4,000 pieces? And I say, probably not. And I've been talking about that. Look, the very interesting thing about telling you that the production is 4,000 and that it's a limited edition is that you have a number in your head. Only 4,000 collectors across this world are going to have this figure. Only 4,000. But really, the way things are selling, and with the volatility of this global economy, and with the way coming out of COVID and this volatile global economy that collecting genres like this are kind of slow with new collectors coming in, you can't convince me that these editions, this like collector edition here, even though it doesn't have a number, I dare say that it's probably not even close to 4,000 pieces. And I've been showing you data and trends after data after trends that kind of lead to these assumptions. This figure wasn't even, didn't even get into any top 5 or anything like that. Even with the Artisan selling where it did. And then it kind of went way down the list. Right after that week, where in the Q, everyone entering the Q system to get these 4,000, and then it was just kind of lingering somewhere on page 3 or 4 with the collector edition. Sometimes these figures, much like the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow Artisan figure, you had 4,000 of the premium one that came with the extra Thor gauntlet or whatever that is. And only 2,000 of still a premium Artisan Scarlett Johansson, but didn't come with the extra piece, but just 2,000. And you do have to ask yourself, is that the same thing? Even though this sculpted version is not an Artisan, but is that like the same kind of pattern? Is it really where, hey, these Artisans, we'll give you 4,000 of the Jack Sparrow Artisan. But then do you really think the other versions are 8,000 or equally 4,000? Or do they kind of step down like that Black Widow? And I say that for the most part, from what I'm seeing and the way these things are selling in the primary and the secondary market, that it is a step down. A step down for sure. But I've said it all along. Really, technically, the inferior Black Widow Artisan figure that does not come with the extra, Thanos gauntlet, that one is more rare than the one that comes with it, because that one It's only 2,000 pieces, baby. It's only 2,000 pieces. And I will put that in here so you could see that real quick. Artisan, Black Widow. There it goes. As I'm recording it and, pulling that up onto the screen. You got two Artisan editions. Just pick one here. And they'll both come up. Yeah. You're seeing this right on the screen. The one that is just 2,000 pieces is just the collector edition. And then if you go with the special edition, it's special. But it's special with 4,000 pieces. So it comes with the Iron Man gauntlet that you see right here on your screen. But even though it's more special because it comes with that, it's not more rare than the collector edition. And it looks like the level of realism with what Hot Toys and InArt are doing with these head sculpts, and especially if you're able to add rooted hair, implantation technology, inserted hair, is unbelievable. But anyway, going back to that Joker, okay, and pulling that on the screen, I really think this collector edition is on that same path. They're not going to tell you how much this is. They're not going to tell you how rare this is. But I dare say it may be more rare than the 4,000 Artisan one on this piece. And now going back to this list. Again, Scout Trooper and Speeder Bike, low stock remaining warning. Captain America 2012, low stock remaining warning. You're seeing that quarter scale Batman, Hot Toys, low stock remaining warning. We just talked about this Joker. And look here at OT figure. I already spoke about the Lando last week. So the Lando Calrissian, pulling that up onto the screen. Low stock remaining. And I spoke about this in the last show. Do I think that this has the potential to be a future, Grail piece? And like I said in the last show, I say no. Why? Because I think they're going to come out with the same Lando again. They're going to come out with it in more limited quantities. And they're going to come out with it in an Artisan version as well. And with purrs. And an updated head sculpt that is going to be superior to this one, even though this one's great and I got it in my collection. I love this Lando. It's not as good as some of the figures that they're coming out with today, and we'll get into that a little bit more. But let's look at the Tusken Raider here, because this is another one almost sold out. Wow. And it seemed like we would never see this. But, all I'm going to say on this is people that still keep collecting Star Wars. This is a unique piece. Think of it like a Jawa. And the Jawa was in stock for a while way back when. And I don't like to use way back when analogies because the economy is different now. This hobby and the way we collect is different now. Sideshow, Hot Toys, their mechanisms, the way they adapted is different now. New companies like InArt and other companies that are innovating like J&D and Jazz Inc. Everything is different now. So I don't like to use the past as analogies. But in this case, with this particular alien type creature, figure, person, this may be apropos. Because with the Jawa, it was in stock for forever. It wasn't selling. When it went out, Star Wars continued to come out with new shows, new things from Hot Toys. Is it possible that the same thing can happen here with this Tusken Raider? Because the Tusken Raider goes really well, not only with your Mandalorian collection, and not only with your original trilogy collection, but it could go with your prequels collection. It can go just about with all your Star Wars collections. So I think this one can move up The only thing is I do think that there's opportunities to make more variations of this Tusken Raider, but a Tusken Raider, unless they're going to give you variations that we saw from the Book of Boba Fett, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be happening with this particular figure anytime soon. Where they can capitalize on it is they can give you a limited release of a couple of thousand and exclusively label this an original trilogy, A New Hope, Tusken Raider. That I can see. They already got the molds and they already have the R&D. And then when you limit it, then it becomes more special because it's limited. If it has a number associated with it, whether it's 1,500, 2,500, 3,000 pieces, it makes it more special. It's a lot less production than this. And then the R&D for this particular Tusken Raider that Hot Toys invested in, they can reuse again and reuse it in limited quantities. So I can see that. I absolutely can see that for sure. And continuing to go through this wait list here. Look, that quarter scale Boba Fett's been there for a while. Of course, you got the Lando. You got some other cool ones on there. Classic Loki. Finally, Doc Brown. You're seeing some of the other stuff. Here's another very interesting one besides the Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Because that's fairly new. And that is this 2.0. This DX17 2.0, DX16 2.0, if you will, of Darth Maul. And you can see right here that with the Speeder Edition, okay, so your DX17, already a low stock remaining warning. So you have to ask yourself, is there a window of a limit in which Hot Toys and Sideshow will reach, knowing that it's only going to sell a certain amount due to what they project collectors are going to spend, how many collectors are out there, how this is doing in the secondary market, and how things have been trending in the primary and secondary market? And I say, yes. And this window, baby, is closing fast on this DX17 reboot. Pause. You're watching the market show, baby. Cheers to you. So, what's the prospect, the long-term prospect in terms of grailability for this Darth Maul? Especially knowing that it's going to be very limited production, which we are absolutely seeing here, where I'm showing you on the screen that there's already a low stock remaining warning with what a lot of collectors would consider the premium piece to have coming with the speeder bike. And I really say at the $405 price range that this has a lot of grailability to it. This is superior to the DX17 and the DX16. While those were, I thought, very, very close to Ray Park. And they're awesome. I have the DX16. It's an awesome, awesome, awesome figure. This one's just another level. It's just very film accurate. I mean, the head sculpts that they're doing nowadays, because they're competing with InArt Hot Toys, and now you got other companies, you know, like J&D, like Jazz Inc., like these other companies like Asmus, so on and so forth, that are just getting better and better. And now you're seeing Hot Toys get better and better with these, you know, prototypes. And quite frankly, these prototypes that are coming out, you know, that look even better, you know, in person when they come out, or real close to it. You know, I mean, just, you know, you could see on the screen right here. I mean, that is just a fabulous likeness to Ray Park and Darth Maul from the Phantom Menace. The head proportions, everything about it. While the DX16, DX17 was pretty darn good. And I love the mean-faced extra head sculpt that comes with, especially for posing amazing action, putting it in amazing action poses. But nonetheless, look, it's not gonna be as readily available. And when you talk about stuff like that, these are the kind of things that are selling above and beyond, and far more frequently than the figures of the past. Even the ones that are with characters that are highly coveted, that Hot Toys has not 2.0'd or hinted towards putting out new versions to yet. You're starting to see these newer figures like this Darth Maul, and I don't think will be any exception, that are moving, that are just driving up the chain within the secondary market, or for sure. And part of that, like what's going on here, I'm going to flash this up onto the screen. So, if you like what you're watching here and you like 6 scale Cantina, I really appreciate your support. And if you want to support the Dark Jedi here and support the channel and what I do in my efforts and my studies into the secondary market, you can do so by joining the channel and become an official ancient action figure theorist along with me and become a Cantina insider. All you got to do is just click on the little join button on the channel, on my channel, see everything that it comes with. If you think you could benefit from it and you want to go ahead and support me and 6 scale Cantina, go ahead and join, because you're going to be able to see over these holidays this brand new review, unboxing, and thoughts on this Return of the Jedi 40th anniversary Darth Vader. And this I'm tying into what I'm talking about right here with this Darth Maul. While this looks to be like the best Darth Maul we've ever received, that's what's going to come out, which is why it's going to drive the price down of the DX17 and the DX16 respectively. And this is driving, even though it's not related to The Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One, A New Hope, this is driving those down. Because this here, my friends, is it on the level of the Anarch Gandalf? Is it on the level of the Artisan Joker I just reviewed, also for you fellow ancient action figure theorists that are members and support the Cantina? And I'll put that on the screen here in a minute. And listen, I'll let it out of the bag. As far as the level of the head sculpt, this right here, compared to what InArt is doing, compared to what Hot Toys is trying to do with their Artisan stuff, these are all new levels, baby. And you could actually put the new Giancarlo Esposito, Moff Gideon, from The Mandalorian Season 3, right in this pool. It's upper echelon. It's next level. I mean, just look at that on the screen. And that's just me. On my iPhone 14, baby. Giving it to you real. No fancy lighting, no fancy this, no fancy that. And that is sick. That is next level. This blows away the quarter scale one. And that is a quarter scale version. You're not going to want to miss this unboxing and review, because I'm going to give you my thoughts on our older figures losing value with this, and you're going to get that exclusively as a channel member, just like here. I mean, you can see, ask yourself the same question. Because of this, is the DX16 and DX17 less of a grail? And I say, of course. Of course it is, baby. It just is. And don't forget, we have 6scalecantina.com. It is back. Go put in 6scalecantina.com. I've got the link also in the channel. Make sure you bookmark it. You get to, you have a wonderful homepage here. And here's, just put this out this month as well for if you want to be an insider. And I didn't put this out publicly, but if you want to see my My DX33 Artisan review of Heath Ledger. Is this the number one figure of all time? You'll get that too. You know, become a Cantina insider, become an ancient action figure theorist, and join the channel, and you'll see this as well. And I do give you my thoughts on this. This is the number one figure of all time on there. And then you can see the latest shows that are on here on 6 Scale Cantina. .com, and then you could also see the Crystal Ball power rankings for that week and the 6 Scale Market power rankings. And with that DX 16 and 17 2.0, you know, we'll go over this a little bit later. But you can see your top 20 this week with the 6 Scale Market power rankings. This is for this week, the week of 12/22, so through the holidays. This is what you're looking at. Right here on the screen. Going all the way from number 1. You know, this DX33 Joker is, it's just the most highly sought after piece right now. And collectors are waiting for it to ship from Sideshow. But this thing is fetching unbelievable value. And we'll get into it. And a lot of collectors do believe that this is the greatest action figure of all time. And I will tell you, I have it. And that's hard to argue. Of course, Wonder Woman. You can't find a Gal Gadot that looks like this unless you get this. And it is just sick. Over $1,000 what this is going for. Same thing with Gandalf. No movement on these top 3. I mean, that looks like Ian McKellen. That looks like Gal Gadot. That looks like Heath Ledger. They're limited. Crosshair. Still where it is. Not budging. Bane. Show you data in a little bit. This Bane, best Bane out there. But again, when you look at the reviews and you see this head sculpt, it's next level. Like that Sebastian Shaw head sculpt from Return of the Jedi I just showed that I reviewed. It's just another level. You know, and if you want to compare grails from the past, whether it's the Michael Rooker Yondu, or the, you know, Peter Cushing Moff Tarkin, or the Alec Guinness, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I dare say right now, with these figures that are coming out, these are surpassing those old milestones that we view as like the top. They're just another level now. Darkside Anakin moved up. It's moving up on here. You can see this right here. So there. What's going to happen to this? You know, if Hot Toys and Sideshow decide to go ahead and capitalize on the R&D and give us one of these alternate versions like that Batman imposter version of the Artisan Joker. Pause, I need a drink here. Cheers, baby. Happy holidays. I mean, just think about that. Of course, the Batman here. Look at all these companies now doing the short hair. You got IdArt doing this with the Batman. Absolutely fabulous. You're seeing it now with you saw it with the with the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and now you're seeing it with Oscar Isaac from Hot Toys. And length of hair, the way the hair is, it's no bearing now. Get ready for Iron Man. Get ready for Christian Bale. Artisan versions coming from Hot Toys quickly. This figure continues to show an amazing, this DX08. So that's holding steady there. Of course, Deadpool and Wolverine. And at number 10, you've got the Aragorn, which looks like this. And I'm going to look up, and I'm looking right at it. And I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at this, and back at it. And yeah, I think InArt hit the prototype right on it. I'm not going to be one of those that say, oh, they missed a little line here or there. I don't know. I mean, honestly, Viggo Mortensen, he doesn't look the same at 6 o'clock at night. You know, probably doesn't look the same 6 o'clock in the morning, you know, when he wakes up. So, who cares? Anyway, this Vader we just talked about. High in demand. Why? You're not getting the ESB one that's high in demand right now. You're not getting the A New Hope one that's high in demand right now. You're not getting the Rogue One, you know, that's high in demand right now. Why? This thing is out of this world, blows all those other ones away. Of course, this Superman blows all the old Henry Cavill Superman versions away, which is why it's on this list. Again, collectors are wanting the very rarest that they can get. Of course, the Emperor. See right there? This DX. This DX27, DX28, definitely a lot of people thought this was going to be figure of the year. But I don't know. You got the Return of the Jedi Vader. And I don't know. You got that Aragorn, and you got that Superman from InArt. And I don't know. You got that DX33 Artisan Joker, which looks like the greatest figure of all time. It's going to be a hard one. Hard one this year to rank. Obi-Wan Kenobi. This Clone Wars one, yeah. This Obi-Wan Kenobi, wow, aren't we glad that they changed they did some additional R&D work to spice this up. You got Count Dooku right there. But another Count Dooku's coming, so collectors continue to spend some money on these figures. Same thing with this, believe me, like Leia. This is not the first and last queen you're going to see. Same thing with her. And of course, dropping down now to number 20 is this alternate version of the Joker with the ultimate version of the Joker, number 1, taking all of the thunder, and collectors trying to get that. But that is your top 20 as we go back into some market news. Pause. You're watching the Market Show, baby. Hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the sub and subscribe the first time you're watching. Happy holidays. All right, so moving on with some secondary market news. Kind of the same story, but I'm starting to see it get a little bit more hard in the secondary market. If you're a collector and you want to move old pieces, old grails, old original trilogy figures from Star Wars, older Marvel figures, older whatever figures, more and more right now are starting to come down in price as far as demand. Because what a lot of collectors are seeing is that Hot Toys is going to be coming out with 2.0s and 3.0s just about of everything that they have previously come out with. And long gone are the days where the popularity of the character and the amount of production for the R&D investment had to equal a certain amount for certain channel creators or analysts to say, hey, this is coming. Now, everything from Jar Jar Binks to C-3PO to the most off-the-wall character you could think of has the potential to get officially announced from Hot Toys. You're talking about volumes as little as 300. And limited with as high as 4,000. Or even 6,000 pieces, such as with the aforementioned Artisan, Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow, in whatever way they decide to slice and dice it with an extra exclusive piece or not. So, for you to go out and spend tons of money on an Mark 85 Iron Man that doesn't have purrs and doesn't really have much battle damage on the back end, is this something where you can rest assured that they're probably going to go ahead and give a new version of this sometime soon, but in much more limited quantities if you really want this? And yes, you can kind of make that assumption. You could see right here, 50 bids, $255. 50 bids at $255 for this particular figure, free shipping. So already including that, and that's it. And look, there's a lot of shops right now that are giving deals on this. And then you got the secondary market that's kind of reflecting that as well. And honestly, there's only a certain amount. And I believe that these companies, they're trying to figure out how much do we produce. When do we say how much do we go over the pre-orders to fill demand? Because even when you get into, a character like this, okay, this is selling well below retail. And sure, it's available. But the demand, even with $12 shipping, so less expensive that you could get at some comic shops, is not there. And is it possible because the demand of what was really produced was kind of already worked and calculated? And I say yes. That's why there's only a certain amount. And it has nothing to do whether, Balin was a secondary character. It's not Ahsoka. That show's not the Balin series. It's the Ahsoka series. But it doesn't matter. You've got some secondary characters that are just killing it in the secondary market. It doesn't really have to do with character. It has to do with how much is out there. And look, you're seeing it right now. That's your demand. 11 bids, $241. You can get it at comic shops. A whole lot of demand? I'm not sure. But then you look at a figure like this, and which went on waitlist rather quickly because they really didn't produce that much of it, and the demand meets it because they made less of it for the demand to go up like this at $327. Now, mind you, only $455 in shipping, but not including taxes, from an outstanding seller. With, wait for it, wait for it, 100% positive feedback. Yeah, $327. Add the 5 over, $331, not including taxes. Wow. For this. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty good, right? Especially when you, consider where this was and what this was. And, at $270, already tracking way over that in the secondary market, it's sold out. It was on the wait list, Book of Boba Fett. They didn't make very many of it. And what attracts a lot of collectors, whether we want to admit it or not, is you want what you can't get. You want what is limited. That's one of the things about collecting. That's one of the things about the hunt of collecting. Some of the things that drives many collectors is the hunt. And if everybody can get it, okay, and it's as common as a can of soup at your Walmart or your Target stores, it's not exactly a commodity, these figures. And you're spending, now you're spending $400, $500, $600 on these figures. Forget about $300. You got a lot of figures that are coming up now. I think the average is inching closer to $300. You include shipping and taxes. And a lot of these exclusives and a lot of these other things, you're talking $300, $50, $400. You buy an in-art figure, it's going to cost you over $400. A lot of these figures, premium figures, are going to cost you $500 all in. Do you want something that everybody has and it's no big deal? And yeah, I spent $500 on this, and yeah, I know in a couple years it'll be worth $150, but that's okay. I love throwing away $350. No. Think about that for a minute. Pause. Cheers. And sure, I know you'll get channels and forums. They'll say, oh, that's okay, I don't care. Yeah. Don't believe it. Collectors care. People care. People don't want to lose money generally. There are some that don't care. God bless them. I'm not one of them. I care. Okay? If I'm going to collect and spend that kind of money, I want it to hold its value. And when it's limited and when it's less production, it sure as heck has a better chance of doing it. And with this here, this was just, it wasn't even advertised how much that they did, but it was a very, 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 very short run. And that's why it's going for, what it's going for up there with that particular figure. And then there's certain figures where, there's demand. It's almost retail. It's just not quite matured yet. And what I mean, the collectors that wanted it, like this figure, everyone who wanted Jamie Foxx and Electro, that really, 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 really must have had this figure, got this figure. And then you got collectors that were like, this is fantastic, it's Jamie Foxx, I'm also going to get this figure. And then when all of that money, all of those orders passed, this is what you're left with. Oh, if I could get it for $242.50, or at least one bidder anyway, maybe I'll pick it up because it's just $242.50. And this is that's outstanding likeness to Jamie Foxx. But this is it, which is pretty good. But why below retail like this? Because there's not 50,000 new collectors that just jumped in to spend $300, $400, $500, $600, $700 a figure. They're like, oh, I don't got the Jamie Foxx one yet. Let me jump in and get it. It's not happening. It's not just happening here. This is across the board, baby. This is the economy that we're living in. This is the state of the world today. And this is the reality of why you're getting lower production numbers, but yet more and more announcements with these lower numbers, exclusives, and all kinds of variations to try and be able to capture the volume that, a lot of these companies need to be able to have cash flow through their books. And that's why you're seeing this. But does this have the potential to be a grail? And I say yes. Because as the economy heals, more collectors jump in, things start to change. You're going to go back and be like, this is darn good. I don't got this. Oh, I'm willing to spend $342. And you'll get to a time where it's like, I'm willing to spend $442. And a lot of these figures that are coming out today, if they have the PERS system, or they have, this upgraded greatness, like the some of these figures that they're coming out with today, they're going to hold their value because they've hit that new plateau. Okay? They've hit that new level of greatness like this. So even if they come out, like with that Vader they're coming out with, that battle damage Mythos style Vader, or they come out with another Vader, this one is so next level. It's unless it comes to life, you really can't get better than this. And it already has rolling eyes function. How you can get better than this is you can use leather. And you can go ahead and make the USB technology less fumbly. You can create things that, make more sense, and continue to innovate for the whole package. But does that mean that this figure is going to lose because it's just, no? But now they've hit this new level. And I do think they're going to continue to improve. But when you look at figures like this, and you look at I'm looking at the InArt Aragorn, and the InArt Gandalf, or if you look at my Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, or you look at my, DX33, Artisan Heath Ledger Joker. These are at the new levels, and I don't think you're going to surpass those levels very quickly right now. I think those are the steady new levels for the next several years that we are going to see. I think you're going to see innovation with, the way these things stand, kind of like, how Hot Toys used, the peg technology in the bottom of the foot of the DX33. So if you watch my review, if you're a channel member and you watched the review, an ancient action figure theorist, and saw my review on the DX33 Artisan Joker, you would know that the bottom of the foot has a hole where you can now, instead of magnetizing it on the base, you get to stand it up like that. It's absolutely brilliant. Now, we're going to see how the Black Widow Artisan figure, since that's coming with a magnetized base, how that's going to compare to InArt and how that's going to compare to the DX33. But I think you're going to see more innovations along those lines. More innovations with the USB technology is definitely a step above with batteries. But, I'm still fumbling about with some stuff, and it doesn't come with the wires that you need. There's much room for improvement. We're starting to get leather on a lot of this stuff, which is great. We're not getting leather on some things like this, which is not great. You're going to see those improvements. But as far as improvements on, how can you make this much better? Sure, I can make that better. Let me make it alive. Let me make it breathe. Let me somehow create, a 12-inch scale human. Sure, I can make it better, but you're not going to get much better than, what you're seeing here. Sure, can they do things like the DX33 Joker? And there are things you can do to improve these head sculpts on a more functional level. Okay, and what I mean by that is, if you look here, and going back to my review on this Joker that you're seeing on the screen here, that you could get as from being a channel member, what innovation from Hot Toys? You could swap out the teeth in his mouth, believe it or not, and put in his tongue, where he's kind of, in the movie a lot, he kind of bites his tongue a little bit in quite a few scenes. You could create that. Now, that's innovation I'm talking about. You're going to see a lot of stuff like that. As far as making this, how do you make this any better than what it is? I don't know. Pause. You're watching The Market Show. Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. So I think, as far as these holding value, and especially because this is limited to 4,000 pieces, and it always will be exclusive and limited to 4,000 pieces, it has value. Even if they do somehow make these, breathe and come to life, which I think I'll stop collecting at that point, because I don't think I would be interested in that type of advancement, quite frankly. But again, a lot of these figures are just, they're fetching insane amount of money. Here's one where it's kind of like, hey, not too many people, this show didn't do good, and not that many people, it wasn't in the top 10 for Hot Toys. Not many collectors are interested in She-Hulk. It was very, very bottom. Well, they are now, because not a whole lot of people pre-ordered this. And it was such low production. I wouldn't be surprised if this was 1,000 or just maybe 1,500, and it's showing that in the secondary market, because look at $420, and it's not so readily available at 27 bits, free shipping, but not including taxes. She-Hulk, because again, it's all about supply and demand. Why is this going more than the third sister? Well, the third sister is going for above retail, but not as high as the She-Hulk. But she was higher on the best-selling list, so there was more of the third sister and less of the She-Hulk. Again, what am I going back to? Supply and demand. Collectors a lot of times want what they can not have. And this is a prime example. And you have to wonder, is it possible that Hot Toys would do a limited 1,500, like Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, 1,500 Artisan She-Hulk, to reuse this R&D again, but give you the hair. And I say 100% you could bank on She-Hulk Artisan coming probably next year. Probably next year. I mean, look what this is fetching. Imagine what an Artisan will fetch. But Aries, I don't like She-Hulk. I didn't like the movie, and it didn't do very well. And my response to you is, who cares? As far, if they're only going to make 1,500, they certainly had 1,500 viewers, and you can see how it's selling, so it doesn't matter anymore. As I said earlier in the show, you can no longer equate, oh, Hot Toys won't put that out because the character's not that popular, and who really wants that? You know, I have a channel and no one talks about it. Well, who cares? Because now they're only making as little as 300. They can do whatever they want and continue to reuse a lot of R&D. And even with a character like I bring up Bail Organa. You know, Bail Organa is, you know, on the Crystal Ball Power Rankings. And, you know, he's number 27 all the way down. But if you put out a Bail Organa, I will tell you, you can use him for Rogue One. There's your R&D. You can use him for the Clone Wars. There's more of your R&D. You can use him for Attack of the Clones. There's even more of your R&D. You could use him for Revenge of the Sith. There's even more of your R&D. And it makes complete sense because Star Wars collectors, you know, they would love to have Jimmy Smits and an extra Star Wars character, you know, in their collection. Especially, is it worth the R&D investment for Hot Toys to be able to get this? Of course it makes sense. Because you could go ahead and you can baby step this into 10,000 units easily by versioning it up throughout the production process and life cycle. It's very simple in what they're doing. This one makes more sense than many of the other figures that are out there, because there's many different versions of Bail Organa that you can do. And when you think about characters that are much more high profile than Bail Organa, like Padme, forget about it on these. And, you know, don't forget, you could go to sixscalecantina.com here, and with the Crystal Ball about Power Rankings, you get to vote. Look at, you know, and you can see there's a check mark here. You know, you see this check mark. You know, how many times have you seen this wonderful Tamora Morrison image that I put on how many banners through the years here on YouTube? And this has been one of my predictions for a while. Aries, where is it? You predicted this. It's been on, you know, 10 banners, probably more. Well, here you go. It's checked off. Checked off. Wolf is gone. And you have to ask yourself, what is the next one that is going to be checked off here? You can go ahead and cast your vote. Always go to sixscalecantina.com, cast your vote, and all of these are on there. And look, maybe there's one that's not on here. I've got 28. Go fill out your name. Come to sixscalecantina.com. Put in your prediction. And I'll add it. Unless it's like, you know, SpongeBob or something, then I won't add it. And so understand that. But if you want to put in here that they're coming out with Sebulba, or you think that they're coming out with Watto, and I don't got it in here, get in here. Send it if you want it. You know, let's cast a vote. Let's see what makes sense. Okay? But, you know, we're Crystal Ball Power Rankings. You see that Wolf is already out. And wow, that is just... I can't believe everything that we've gotten. And Grievous isn't on this list. And Darth Sidious isn't on this list. Because we've already got them already this year. Let's get through. Number one, of course, is this. And we know it's coming. When is it coming? Either before the official, you know, release photos of the Artisan Anakin, or shortly after. Or before it. And I think that that's what they're working on right now, if you want my honest opinion. I think this is the same R&D. They have a different set of per eyeballs that they're putting in with the head sculpts that they're producing right now and trying to get them ready up to par. It could come out a few months after the regular Anakin, or honestly, the regular Anakin can be postponed. They come out with this first, like the Imposter Joker, and then we wait a few months for that one. But this is the number one, and with a lot of your votes, a lot of you think this is the number one that's coming out. Of course, this, again, this continues to move, in between $500 and $600, and it does have purrs. It is an amazing likeness to Jack Nicholson. I just urge everybody, if you're going to spend $500, $600, $700 on this, rest assured, this is coming so fast from Hot Toys at 2.0. Just know this. Gamora. So you can see Gamora right there at number 3. Look, they just came out with Moon Knight, short hair, long hair. Zoe Saldana. Love Linus, by the way, if you like TV. She's just awesome. 1000% coming. Luke, too easy. Leia, they already teased it. Here's one that really moved up on the list. Really moved up on the Crystal Ball Power Rankings. That's Christian Bale. Look, and I think the reason for that is because everyone's seen Moon Knight. So if you could do Moon Knight, you could definitely do Christian Bale. And they love Christian Bale. And they love the Nolan trilogy. And they love Batman. And they would love an Artisan version. Multiple Artisan versions coming soon. Christian Bale coming. Thor, come on. Look, this moved up a lot. A lot of people are... Look, I've shown you this with Prisoner Leia. I've showed you this. Lego's already coming out with Prisoner Leia merchandise right now. If Lego can do it, Hot Toys can do it. Come on, Jason Momoa, we already know what time it is. We already know what time it is. We know this is coming. Now, here's another big one here on the list. I think this has a lot to do with the Poe Dameron. So look, listen, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a Snowspeeder pilot Luke. But now we've got artisan hair Luke. Is it possible? You know they're going to do it. Just like right here. 1000%. Just like what's on the banner right here. That's why these are on the banner. You can go to sixscalecantina.com. It is just too easy to do this R&D work and finally give us the last remaining main Star Wars character that we don't have. I mean main, top billing in the cast. We don't have Oscar Isaac. That's the last one remaining. Remember, we got Billy D. Williams. Remember, we got Natalie Portman. There's no one left. You could count Liam Neeson from Phantom Menace, but he is already out. We do not, and you could count Peter Cushing and Alec Guinness from A New Hope. These are, one-show deals, basically, except Alec Guinness is the ghost in the other ones, but we do not have Oscar Isaac. He is the last remaining big one from the movies. The last remaining big one. And unless you want to count Cassian, but that's coming. We know that's coming. Let's continue to move. Han. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, gals. Let's go to the next one. 10th anniversary of what next year? The Force Awakens? Too easy. Too easy. Look, you're good. There is a rumor they're working on a Qui-Gon Jinn, and they've given us 2 versions of Bane. How many versions of Heath Ledger? And no versions of the villain from the first film of the Nolan trilogy. And how many collectors, forget about how you feel about this character, which I feel like it's just one of my most favorite film characters ever. I love Liam Neeson's portrayal of Ra's al Ghul in this. But collectors would swim towards this. And as far as being able to reuse R&D like this for this, there's so much. Easy. Easy. Return of the Jedi. We need a new one. Come on. We need a new one. This. We haven't talked about this for a while, but can you say Tauntaun? Can you say Tauntaun? They're giving us a lot of beasts. Can you say Tauntaun, baby? This is coming as an artisan. Same with Luke. Every version you could think of. Ah, there he is. I won't have to use this on my banner anymore. We could use the official new one that Hot Toys came out with. Wolffe is checked off. Does that mean that Azaj is on the way? And I say, Mick, yes. Pause. Maybe a Mythos version that kind of used that from Sideshow there. They're giving us a Mythos-type Vader. You have to wonder. 100%. 100% Captain Marvel is coming as Artisan. They're giving us Emperors up the wazoo. Without question, Eternal Emperor's coming. And no, you're not going to have to wait for any anniversary. Just like you didn't have to wait for the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith for Grievous and the other Emperor. It's coming very fast. They already teased this. I think what's holding this up is they wanted to work on the hair, which some people complained about. And when they come out with it, it's going to be phenomenal. It's coming. Come on. They gave us Luke Bespin. Are they going to give us an Artisan version? I say yes. Too easy. Too easy. Too much of a novelty. Too talked about. Too easy. With the Rey they're coming out with next year, so much they can capitalize on Rey. I already just talked about this. This makes so much sense. He's in so much. Just do it already. Just do it already. And of course, last but not least, Ares. This will never happen. Money. A picture paints 1,000 words. And money paints an infinite amount of possibilities. That's all I'm going to say. Are we ever going to see a Cara Dune from Hot Toys? And I say, yes. She's coming, baby. She's coming. So, listen, as far as Christmas Eve Live, I'm not able to do it. I know many of you have asked. I've been battling some health issues the last several months. Thank God and thank the Lord, I am on the road to recovery. Had a very big scare there for a moment, but I'm not able to go live right now. But look for me in 2025. Again, if you want to chat with me, go ahead and comment on this video. Or go ahead and join the Facebook group. That is on, the link to that is on here as well. And I know a lot of you super chat or you want to support 6 Scale Cantina, show your appreciation. You can do that through joining with a membership here. Or various things you can do with the YouTube video right here. But Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays. Whatever you celebrate to all of you that are out there. We'll try and get back to the live shows for next year. Certainly am committed to doing these pre-recorded shows and having 6 Scale Cantina. Back up, baby. And listen. And listen, here's another thing I'm able to be hard at work at. That, a lot of you, I think are going to be very, very excited about, to be quite honest with you. And that is Season 2 of Ancient Action Figures. And that's, something that I know a lot of us had fun with in 2024. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun in 2025. I'll pull it up on the screen. If you go to 6scalecantina.com and go to the last tab here, Ancient Action Figures Season 2, you can see the brand new logo as we get hyped up for Ancient Action Figures Season 2. And here's our cast. We've got Reverend Possible right there on the screen. DNR Cowboy. Dr. Wonder. Of course, Captain Crunch. Ares Tarrington. And the 13th Skull, image coming soon. And no, because of many things. I have not been able to put the bios up, but if you check throughout the holidays, I'm going to try to get the bios up on here. Just keep 6scalecantina.com bookmarked for your latest on what's going on with season 2 of Ancient Action Figures. Cannot wait to bring that in for the next year. Putting a lot of work and effort into planning that and producing that. Of course, you can get your Crystal Ball power rankings, and don't forget to vote or send in your own requests for what makes the rankings. Of course, you can get your 6 scale power rankings right up on here as well. Of course, you get the market chart, which is going to take some time, but you can see coming mix soon, baby. So you can have some fun on here. Of course, you got the link to the Facebook page on here if you don't want to go to the channel link. So I appreciate it. But no Christmas Eve show. But, if you do want to, chat with me, you can chat with me on the various places that I mentioned. So that's what I got. Remember, I don't always buy coffee out. But when I do, I do it right here at the 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.